Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I picked up this haul table from my sister. She was actually going to throw it in the tip. So I brought it home and rescued it, and all in all it is a good piece. I did find a stamp in one of the drawers that said made in Malaysia, and I noticed it is a bit of a mismatch of pieces of different wood, and the top is oak veneer. It does have a few nicks and scratches on it and a very wobbly leg, and that's because there's the actual bolt missing from underneath it. But all in all, like I said, it's a really good piece, and I'm actually going to paint the sides and I'm going to varnish the top, just sand back the top and varnish it. So for all you paint haters out there, don't worry, it's not an antique. First step is to give it a really good wash. Get rid of all that grease and dust off there so your paint adheres properly. Remove the hardware. And at this stage I thought I would reuse this hardware because it does have a little bit of wood on it to match the top. There were some glider problems. One of them was missing, and there it is there. So that's easily fixed. I can just screw some new screws in there and replace that, and screw down this screw here that was loose. Luckily for me, I found some extra screws in my little cup there and repaired that drawer easily. So just tip it over just to see the underside and what I need to repair. And like I thought, it was just a missing bolt, and tighten up all the others as well. I just put some wood glue in there and then left that to dry. Tighten up those bolts first and wipe away the excess. Just scuff sanding the drawers now. Just use 120 grit sandpaper, and then scuff sanded the rest of the table. I started sanding the top, but was a bit concerned because of the grain was going in all directions. So I thought it would be better if I used my carbon scraper. And that worked a treat. That got the varnish off. Piece of cake. Then I was able to go with the grain. Very carefully trying not to mark the wood. You can see here how easily it's coming off. And then I just hand sanded to tidy it up. The sides were made of some really funny wood. I don't know what it was, but it was almost like plastic. So I'll definitely be doing the side rim of the table there on top with paint. Just wipe away all that excess dust before you start painting. And then I just mask up the drawers so I don't get paint anywhere on the inside. So this is what it looks like after sanding. You can see there quite a few water marks, water stains. I don't want to keep sanding because it's only a veneer and it's very thin, and I don't want to bust through that. So I decided to try some oxalic acid and see if I can blend those patches in or lighten them a little bit. So I just get some boiling water and just a little bit in a jug there and add a couple of heaped tablespoons of oxalic acid. Make sure you wear protective wear like gloves and glasses. You don't want to get this splashed in your eyes or on your skin. And I just used a little sponge there to apply the oxalic acid. I applied it to the whole top surface of the table, not just the areas that I wanted bleached or lightened. And then I went back over the darker pieces, concentrated those on with a little bit extra. So I'll just leave that to dry. And while that's drying, I sprayed my drawers with Zinsser B.I.N primer. And I just gave those one coat. So this is what it looks like after 10 minutes. It's starting to dry. After the undercoat was semi-dry, I noticed there was a couple of little dents or marks on the edge there, so I just filled those in with multi-fill. So this is after 20 minutes. And you can still see the marks quite clearly. So at this stage I don't think it's working that well. I may do it again or I may just sand. You can see there's quite a dark patch there. So after 30 minutes, it's completely dry. I decided to remove it just with some fresh water, and I rinsed it off 3 times. This is what it looks like wet. It's not too bad. Probably think I could live with that maybe, or maybe just sand it just a tiny bit more. So out with the sander and one last sand with a very light sandpaper. I think this was about 200 grit. Just wipe it with a damp cloth to see what it's going to look like. And I've decided to leave it alone now and just be happy with that. So I masked around the edge there so I can get ready for painting. I just used frog tape and a little bit of newspaper for the centre. Sand down those areas that I multi-filled and gave the rest of the piece a layer of undercoat. After the undercoat dries, I noticed these dents on the very far back leg. Sometimes you don't notice till after you've undercoated. Somehow I missed that when I was sanding, so I just filled that up with multi-fill as well. And when that dried, I sanded it back. and then gave the rest of the piece a light sand to make sure all the undercoat was nice and smooth. This is the paint I'm using. It's Fusion Mineral Paint and the colour is Bayberry. I did give it a good stir because it had separated a little bit, and then gave everything a coat. This is the best part, painting. I really enjoy the painting part of furniture makeovers. If you would like to see more videos, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're alerted every time I put a video out. So this is what it looks like after one coat. It does look quite rough after the first coat, but when that second coat goes on, it looks really nice. I have given the rim, the edge there, 2 coats, and I'm just removing this paper just to check that the shade of the wood suits the green, and I think it does. So in between coats of paint, I'll just give it a very light sand. That helps reduce brush marks. The second coat I applied with my artist brush. I felt that was a lot easier, and it's a very smooth, fine brush. So now I am going to use this Restoleum chalked matte clear top coat, and I just add a little bit of my paint with it. Because I'm painting a dark colour, I always put a little bit of paint in the varnish, and that prevents it from going cloudy when it's dry on your paint. It does look cloudy here when I'm putting it on, but it will dry clear. So I had these little handles. I thought I might use those, but then decided they're too small. So I will use these for now. And what I'll do is I'll just mask up the wood. So I've left a little bit of wood on the handle to match the top of the table. I thought that would look quite good. That would go well. And then I just give it a little clean with a wire brush. And just gave those 2 coats of black paint. I decided to line the inside of the drawers with this self-adhesive wallpaper. It's quite good, the stuff, it's quite thick. I just got it from Kmart here in New Zealand. And it's very sticky, which is really good. Smooth that out with your hands. And then I just used a scraper and run that along the edges and pressed out any bubbles that I thought I saw. And I just grab a Stanley knife or Exo knife and run along the edges to get rid of all the excess. I waxed the inside and the outside of the drawers just to liven them up a little bit, refreshen the wood. So this is what the handle looked like. I put one on and I just didn't like it. So I had these cut pulls and I thought that maybe suited it better. So I decided I'd go with the cut pulls. But unfortunately they didn't fit, so I had to multi-fill the holes and re-drill. Which meant, of course, sanding and then repainting as well. But that's okay, I like them better, so it's worth it. So just re-measure where I'm going to be putting these new holes. drill, and then 2 more coats of paint. Pop those in and tighten the screws at the back. And voila, I think they're much better. There we go, pop that in there. And the last thing I did is give the top 3 coats of the Restoleum matte clear. The first coat really, the wood really sucked it up. You had to work quite fast. It went tacky quite fast. And then the second and third coats went on a lot easier. So here's a reminder of what it looked like at the start. And here it is now. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, guys, if you like it. The top came out quite nice. And the colour bayberry, beautiful. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you like the colour? Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.